right, you guys, so this video I want to talk about predictions for twin flames. So this is for my divines on a journey, divine feminines, divine masculines on a twin flame journey. Predictions, what is going to happen with twin flames for the next 3 to 5 years, considering the current timeline split and very interesting times that we are at. I'm gonna upload this video to my YouTube as a final episode for the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine Masterclass that I have channeled. I think it was about a year ago. So on my YouTube I have 2 playlists available free for you to watch if you're on a journey: Divine Feminine Masterclass and Divine Masculine Masterclass, where I've channeled all the core information that one may need being on this journey to understand what this journey is about, to understand the depths of this journey, and to navigate better on this journey. So because we are in this time of big change and timeline split collectively, and spiritual teachers are talking about this a lot, I wanted to address that topic in context of twin flames. I've done a channeled message a few days ago exactly about that, but I wanted to sort of expand, right, and cover this topic in depth to give you all information that you may need to navigate. So how I want to structure this episode, it's going to be probably a longer, all my videos are long because we're thorough here. We're not looking for 3 minutes information of tell me what to do with my life, but we're actually looking for understanding and going deeper. So how I want to structure it, I have my notes, everything, so I'm going to be looking at my notes. You know, that's how we roll here. We're very organic and natural. So I have my notes here, but I want to sort of give this video free, sort of a what you call this, like parts. I'm missing a word. I want to start from a short explanation on why this time is so interesting. Why are we sitting in very interesting times, and everything will be changing, not just for twin flames, not just for spiritual people, for the timeline that we're sitting at, for this world, for the whole earth. We're talking about timeline split into the new earth. And then in second part, I'm going to address this in the context of twin flames. So what we will be observing for twin flames currently on the journey. And then in the final part, I will give you some guidance that I've channeled for divine feminines and divine masculines. So given everything that I will say, what is the message that the divine feminines should now do? And what is the message that the divine masculines should now do? Obviously, if you're still in separation, not yet in union, although it may apply to twinnies in union as well, if you just recently stepped into your union with your masculine. All right. So we're now experiencing in 2026 what we call a timeline split. I've done a whole separate video about this. You can watch this on my YouTube in 2026 energies video. It will be available there if you're interested to know in depth how we're experiencing it, how we're seeing it, and what it actually means. But the split basically means that we are going towards the formation of new earth. So enough people has risen, enough people expanded their consciousness to collectively create a higher frequency. So obviously it's not going to be like physically second earth, but we're going to literally exist on a different frequency. Those of us who awakened, who done the work, who risen our individual vibration to collectively start resonating with a better future, right? And we are now in a very interesting time when we have closed a lot of long cycles on Earth. And I specifically want to talk about 3 cycles that we're now closing that are changing and shifting collective energies, and they will specifically change energies of light worker healers, twin flames, starseed, people who came here to actually assist in the creation of new earth. So the first cycle is a 9-year cycle, right? We talked about this a lot. 2026, this is following numerology. Last year, 2025, was a year that was ruled by number 9. We are closing 9-year cycle and we are entering 2026, which to some is year number 1, starting a new cycle, and to some is year number 10, which in numerology will sum up to 1 either way. So it will start a cycle, but the 0 is very important to add to it as a divine element. As a 1 is a creation, initiation, but that 0 is the wholeness. So it's the creation with the divine. We are entering a new cycle of creation of the divine, of letting go old patterns, letting go old cycles, closing old what is not serving from that past 9 cycle. So we started that as we connected to the year 2026. So that's the 1 cycle. Second cycle that we're closing is Neptune moving from Pisces into Aries. Many planets are moving into Aries. All planets by the end of April moved into Aries, but some of these planets will stay in Aries for a prolonged period of time. Specifically Neptune, I'm looking at my notes, for 13 past years was in Pisces. So Neptune is responsible for this sort of a shadow side of us, but also the deeper side of us, the feminine side of us, the dreamer, the psychic, the inside. So because he was sitting in Pisces, there was this tendency to move this energy a little bit on a oversensitive, I call it gooey kind of a side. So those 13 years, collectively speaking, I'm giving you really the highlights because I don't want to focus on astrology. You can check that in different content creators. That's not my area of expertise. But we were in this 13 years cycle that we're closing in the beginning of 2026 now. So in another cycle that is closing, it was a bit of a years of and collective cycle of denial, of lack of accountability, of projection, of avoidance, of delusion, right? We weren't really seeing things for what they are. Right? And we're observing this, that many people are now waking up, removing the illusion, removing the denial, healing the avoidance, taking more and more accountability. This is what we're experiencing collectively. And because Neptune is moving into Aries, Aries is very masculine energy. We're going to be able to connect that feminine into masculine and move, again, collectively, where you're masculine or feminine, with more courage, with more leadership, with more focused masculine energy moving forth. Now, the final cycle that we're closing is Saturn moving as well from Pisces to Aries, which is closing 30 years of karmic cycle, of paying karmic debts, of breaking karmic patterns, of repeating karmic patterns, right? Of moving through our karma and being a bit of a stuck in that repetition, not allowing us to move towards our dharma for 30 years. Now we're liberating ourselves from this cycle, which will allow us to collectively move towards our dharma, to release and remove karma. Obviously, we're talking collectively, which means this is exactly why this split will happen, because not everyone will be on board. Not everyone will want to be accountable. Not everyone will grow. There's many people, and it has nothing to do, sometimes it's a misconception, so I sort of want to mention this as a aside. Many people think that, sometimes you feel that someone is so dormant and so in the shadows, but they grab this bull by its horns, and they take accountability, and they make this immense progress within a year, becoming a completely different person. And then you have many people that you would feel that they're okay, they're good people, they're doing some sort of, but they refusing to go deeper, to take accountability. So we're going to experience it differently, obviously closing those free cycles, and the closure of those free cycles will sort of enhance and deepen the timeline split. So things are changing. We're really going to divide ourselves into people who are willing courageously to do the work, let's go, let's do this, and those who just refuse to take accountability, to courageously remove karmic patterns, remove karmic connections, remove certain wounds, heal, and progress on the journey. So this is a bit of a context that I wanted to give you to understand why, as twin flames, as a society, collective of twin flames, we will be shifting our energies as well. And specifically, I wanted to make it the last episode because a couple of things that I've mentioned in my masterclass about the waves of twin flames and the length of certain, it will collectively change. It will collectively change, and we're going to be following the different rules of engagement for the next 3 to 5 years that will end the era of twin flames. So let's dive right in. First thing that I want to tell you is, why is it happening? Because everything that I've mentioned, feminines are going deeper, right? Feminines started to rise decades ago with the first, I just don't want to say the first waves of twin flames, but also first waves of healers, of light workers, of star seeds decades ago, right? Feminine started rising, healing, going deeper, because the feminine is the initiation, the feminine is the creation. We always go first, and the masculine energy remained dormant in this world. So what's happening now is that we're collecting the fruits of our labor for the last decades. Feminines are more and more mature, not just twin flames feminines, not just awakened feminines, but all the starseed, all the pioneers, all the light workers. You're more and more seeing women who are understanding their worth, who are understanding their value, who are properly understanding what does it mean to be in your feminine energy. No, I do not need man to feel worthy. No, I do not need to have a partner, despite the fact that he's a karmic partner, he doesn't understand me, just to feel more valuable as a woman. We are raising the bar. We are loving ourselves more. We are remembering, right? We are rising, right? So this has been happening for decades now, and we have reached this moment collectively, right? Again, individually, different people are going to be in different places of their journey, but collectively, the feminine is ready to go deeper. The feminine is ready to take the role of the oracle. The feminine is ready more than anything to take accountability. And we're seeing this now. For quite some time, we were seeing this behavior within women, that because men this and men that. Now, because we've healed and we've went deep enough, we are understanding, okay, men this and that, but we are the creatrix. Our role is to be the gatekeeper. Our role is to raise and accept men for what they are presenting, right? Our role is to create divine masculines. And I've done many videos about this when I've explained this to you guys, that as a mature divine feminine, you have to understand that we raise them and we accept them. So you cannot criticize men as long as your own sons and your own partners are not divine masculine, because it means that there's still a lack within you that is pushing you to raise a man who is not a divine masculine and accept a partner who is not a divine masculine, right? So we're healing that, we're understanding. It is our role, it is our responsibility through healing the feminine energy within us to remove the collective mother wound. I've done a whole series about mother wound on my channel, so you can go ahead and watch that. So because the feminines have been rising for decades, that has allowed the masculine energy that is that follows, right? Because we are the initiation, we are the creation, to rise now. So what is happening now as the feminines, we are anchoring ourselves strongly in our high priestess, oracle energy, sovereignty, divinity, the depths of the femininity, which is creating collective space for our masculine to start rising. So our beautiful divine masculines now collectively, we are on a path of accelerated ascension for light workers, healers, and for twin flames as well. Our masculines will be rising now. It is the season of masculines awakening, of masculines rising, going for their satori. Again, as individuals, it may be a little bit different. Like I said, we're talking about predictions for the next 3 to 5 years, and I'll go into the details in a moment, but collectively they are awakening, they are rising, they are starting to follow their lighthouse and our collective lighthouse as divine feminines. So I've mentioned this to you. I want to mention, I've noted down, in one of the episodes for Divine Masterclass, I've mentioned about the waves of twin flames, right? So what's going to happen in the next year, 2026, all the waves are merging. It's no longer relevant, right? Because the difference of the waves, you can watch that video for educational purposes. We had a bit of a different mission, different role, right? We awakened a little bit differently. I've explained this in this video. But now we're sort of emerging into one wave of twin flames because collectively we're getting to the end game, right? To the end of the journey of twin flames on this timeline. So we're merging into one wave. So what's going to happen now, and I've explained this a little bit in my channeled message that I've mentioned before about the predictions for twin flames, and I want to go into more details. We're going to notice 3 possible paths for all twin flames. All twin flames on this timeline are currently activated, right? Experiencing the timeline split, all twin flames are activated. There are no twin flames, as far as I've received in downloads, and other healers and channels that channel information for twin flame are channeling, saying that all the twin flames already awakened. So there's no women that are not aware that they have a twin flame somewhere around, and in 2 years they're going to meet them and get activated. We're all activated. We're in different stages of the journey. Some may be in a bubble phase, some may be in and out, some may be in separation already, closer to union, but we're all activated, right? So there's going to be 3 possible things that will happen to all activated twins within the next 3 to 5 years, depending on where you are on your journey. So the first group is the pairings that you have been on a journey quite a while and you have been courageously doing the work. So we're going to be talking about pairings that are led by a divine feminine who is either very close to reaching her divinity, or she is already in her divinity, in her wholeness, right? So she has healed the core wounds, she's attended to the core wounds, she has connected to her higher self, she has healed past lifetimes, she has connected to her path and her mission, which is the authenticity of the soul, and she is fiercely following her mission. She has detached from the masculine, she has detached from the journey and the physical aspect of the journey. She has claimed her sovereignty and she follows her path. Like I said, it may be, individually quite different. You may be experiencing this state of being for the past couple of years already, right? Or you may literally now just be entering this stage, and there are still bits and pieces that you need to work on, that you need to connect to, perhaps work on your magnetism, perhaps work on your stillness and your patience and the receiving frequencies, perhaps connect deeper to your path and your mission. Perhaps you are in your divinity, but you haven't yet activated your abundance. Again, there's going to be bits and pieces that perhaps you're still working on, but if you more or less identified with that state, it means that you are quite mature divine feminine. So the prediction is that we're going to be on an accelerated path of growth. So within the next 3 years, all twin flames where the feminine identifies with that state of being will be guided back into union, back to each other, into divine union, external union in the physical, in the 3D with your divine masculine. The second group is where the feminine is not quite there yet. I call my feminines on the beginning of this journey, my feminine toddlers. So those will be pairings where the feminine has recently risen. You are in the initial stages of those years. So you already know you're on a journey, you're doing the work, but you don't quite resonate with that first descriptions that I've given. You're still attached to your masculine. You're still in pain. You're still in longing. You haven't perhaps connected fully to your path and mission. Maybe there are certain wounds that you haven't worked on just yet. Maybe you haven't fully stepped and committed into your healing journey. You're still a little bit lost. Again, within that basket, there's going to be a spectrum of states of being. But if you don't feel that you're quite yet are this divine feminine and fully understand the depths of this journey, it means that you are yet in that toddler stages of the journey. In which case, if you continue to do the work, if you roll up your sleeves, you're going to be put again on an accelerated path of growth. And between those 3 to 5 years, it's those 2 added years for those twins that are just getting started, to give you the time to go properly through this journey. Please remember, and I've said this in my channel message before, this prediction doesn't mean that you can sit back and do absolutely nothing. We continue our journey. There's going to be even more work. We're going to be on an accelerated. I've been feeling this already. Whether you are in union with your divine masculine, whether you are before union or you're still in separation, it doesn't matter, because until the day we shed this physical body, we will walk this path of Christ consciousness. And in moments like this, of this divided timeline, even twin flames who already are in union and reach divinity, we continue to grow, we continue to expand. So I've been experiencing, in the recent seasons, and I felt that it's literally like ascension after ascension after ascension. We really are an accelerated path of growth. So we have to roll up our sleeves and courageously accept the challenge. So those are the first 2 groups. And the third group is the group of divine feminines who have been unfortunately refusing to do the work. And please remember, as always, I do not say this with judgment. I do not say this with, someone is behind, is not doing the work. I'm just presenting the facts to you and the channeled messages that I've received, so you can also act accordingly. So if you have been on this journey either for a very long time, and I've explained in my channel the message that the magical number of 9 years. 9 is a magical number for divines. 9, 12, 14, 144. We work in cycles of 9 months. Every 9 months, we have an opportunity for a bigger ascension and for moving to the higher level of our journey. So every 9 months, a masculine, if you're already in separation, every 9 months he will have a chance to return back to you for a union, for recalibration, and then you either work your way towards union or you go back into separation. And we are receiving 12 cycles of those 9 months, which sum up to 9 years to figure this journey out. So if you have been on this journey for 9 years or 9 years plus since you've been activated to the journey, and you haven't reached your divinity as a divine feminine, so you are not in this state that I described in the first group, or second option is that perhaps you haven't been on a journey for 9 years plus. You've been shorter period of time on this journey, but many times you have given up. Many times you have said to your guides, I don't want to do this. This is too difficult. I didn't choose this. You refuse to heal the connection. I always say to you guys that there are 3 elements that a feminine needs to heal and conquer on this journey. 1 is your own healing of the soul. 2nd is your purpose, mission, your authenticity, what you come here to do. And the third one is healing of the connection with your masculine. Many feminines misses the third part, doesn't know how to conquer the third part. It is the hardest part. So if you have been on this journey, perhaps not necessarily 9 years, but many times you have refused to heal the connection. Many times you've said, I don't want to do this. You still feel blame, shame, resentment, anger towards your masculine. You have energetically separated yourself from your masculine. Many feminines, what they do, for example, is they cut the cords. Very dangerous thing for twin flames. We're connected through very special red threads kind of cords. They cannot be severed, they cannot be cut. You're only messing with your energy, and you're cutting yourself from the other part of you. So it's very dangerous, not just for the twin flame connection, but also for your own sovereignty of the soul and your own mental health. So there are feminines who chose to settle, to sever the cords, to cut themselves energetically from the masculines. They refused to do the work. They had many periods of stagnation, of breaks, of refusing the connection, of refusing the gift of the journey. And if that is your case, if you fall under that category, within the next 3 years, you will be allowed to give up on this journey, and you will sort of close it. Most of it I've received in downloads. It will happen in 2026. Some of the feminists may continue for some years to be pulled back into the journey for that last opportunity. But within the next 3 years, if you fall under that final category, your journey will close. So you will close a timeline where you can actually reach union with your divine masculine, and you will no longer be allowed to reach this union in this lifetime. You will be able to sort of relax on a lower timeline, aligned timeline still, but not the highest, most aligned timeline. Relax into your mission, relax into your own healing, and disconnect for the duration of this lifetime from your masculine. All right, so now let's discuss what does it mean and what do we do as a feminine, as a masculine. So everything that I said, what do I do now? I've received this information. What do I do now? Collectively, as both masculine and feminines, I've channeled and I've written down 4 words, and I want to read them to you. This is what I want all of you, whether you're feminine or masculine, to focus on: accountability, courage, dharma, and heart. So what does it mean? Accountability. This is the time to be accountable of your actions, of your past, of your shadows, of your inner state of being. You are the master of your reality. You are the master manifester. We do not wait for our guides to bring us something. We do not wait for the universe. We activate, both of us, that inner masculine strength of the areas. We do not wait for the universe. We act, we move forward. We do not stop. We take accountability. Right? So there's no place for denial. There's no place for distractions. Full accountability. I am here in this lifetime on this journey. It is a gift. I will take accountability. Right? It doesn't mean that you cannot pray to your guides for support. It doesn't mean that you cannot pray to your angels to help you, especially as a feminine, because we operate in the 5D. So we have to interact through our inner masculine and through our angels with the masculine energies of this world to help us achieve certain things. But it is the season of accountability. Accountability is very important. It is not the time now to say, I am not ready to heal mother wound deeper. It is not the time to say, I am not ready to take responsibility for the little thing that I did last week, or for those things that I did 3 years ago. If it's coming to you, it's for a reason. It's a season of accountability. Life is neutral. Stop looking at things as this is a bad thing, this is a negative thing, this is a mistake. Everything is neutral, right? Whatever comes to you that they still wanting you to heal, to work on, to accept, to forgive yourself, accountability, right? Second thing is courage. We have to act with courage. This is the masculine courage of the Aries. We are not afraid of our visions. We are not afraid of our future. We are not afraid to walk the path of Christ consciousness. We are not afraid to reach out to our feminines. We are not afraid to say no to our masculines. We have courage because courage is love. We act from a place of love. We are not afraid. Do not fear, my child. This is the biggest message of all the religions and all the ascended masters that walk this earth. Do not fear. Do not fear death. Do not fear any timeline that is in front of you. Do not fear your mission. Do not fear the gift that God has given you. Do not fear. We act with courage. We fear nothing. There's nothing to be feared. It's just a sandbox game. Connect to your higher self. There's nothing to be feared. We act with courage. It's a season to act with courage. We don't fear shadows. We don't fear challenges. We don't fear returning to each other. We don't fear the joint mission. We don't fear what God puts in front of us. We act with courage. Next thing is dharma. Remember I said we're closing 30 years of karma. We're now following our northern star. We don't look back. We don't look back what's behind. We've moved through this. We've cleared karma. We've learned lessons. We've released patterns. We are now fully focusing on our northern star. What is your destiny? What did you come here to do? What is your dharma? What is your mission? What is your authentic self? Our mission for divines is always love and union. We are here to step into union with each other. That's part of our destiny always. That's part of our dharma always, to be with our divine counterpart and walk this mission together. We no longer fear. We no longer look back towards karma. We walk towards our northern star. And the 4 word that I've mentioned to you was heart. Activate your heart. Open your heart. We connect to our divine counterpart through the portal of our heart. We're always connected. Remember, we're one consciousness, one chakra system. So the moment the masculine even a little bit opens his little heart, we always connect through our heart, through love, through frequency of love. So connect deeper, both masculine and feminines. Connect deeper to your heart, to love, to compassion, to forgiveness, to softness, to the portal, to the divine. Connect to your counterpart, even if you are separated, even if you don't feel whether it's going to be 1 more month or those 3 more years. Stay connected on the level of the heart through those beautiful red threads, always connected through the threads of love. We are love. We love each other. Our love is eternal. Our love is unnegotiable. Our love is unconditional, and it's always there, and it's the anchor of our journey. So, you know, those 4 things that both masculines and feminists need to do. So now I want to give you a couple of things specifically for masculine and the feminine. So for my beautiful feminines, I've channeled a couple of things. Deeper healing, definitely. So we are asked now to go deeper. Go deeper in every wound, go deeper in every shadow, go deeper in every emotion, go deeper on shamanic journey. However you heal, however you live your life, however you walk your path, go deeper. Don't be afraid to go deeper. Second thing that we are asked to do right now is to connect to our inner masculine. Only through healthy relationship with our inner masculine we can ever invite our actual physical masculine to have enough courage to step into claiming us in the physical world. So connect to your inner masculine. Allow your inner masculine to be your protector, to be your provider, to hold space for you, to take care of you, to devote himself to you. Check in with your inner masculine so your feminine feels safe. So check and allow your inner masculine to check in with your inner feminine. What is it that I want to do today? What is it that I want to do this week? How do I want to work on myself? Your masculine is the one that is your link with the physical world. Again, your protector, your provider. So cultivate that healthy relationship with your inner masculine. Next thing that I wrote down is wholeness and energy leakage. So work on your wholeness. I've done a video about energy leakage, leaking energy. Make sure that you are really whole, that you are really sovereign. Go ahead and find that video on my healing and spirituality. It's going to be very relevant for achieving that wholeness. But We have to make sure that our relationships are on point. We understand which relationships are two-way streets, and where our energy is not reciprocated, multiplied, returned to us. We have to step away from these things. We have to separate from relationships, no matter how difficult it is. We are whole within ourselves. We do not need anybody. And if someone is not seeing us for who we are, it is the role of the divine feminine to walk away and closing that energy leakage. And that final thing for the feminism, make sure that you're healing those three elements that I've mentioned: your own healing of the soul, path, mission, purpose, authenticity, and the connection with your masculine that you will do through wholeness and through your heart. Now, the final thing that I want to talk about is, what are our masculines asked to do right now? What are our masculines asked to do right now? So I've mentioned those 4 things for both of us. So definitely, my dear masculines, consider where you are when it comes to those 4 things: accountability, courage, dharma, and your heart. And I want to go more in depth and give you specifically, as a divine masculine, the practices and the shadow work and what you need to work on if you are in separation. As a masculine, you would feel where your feminine is. If you are masculine watching, let's face it and let's be honest. Remember those 3 baskets that I've mentioned: 3 years plus 5, right? And then ending the journey in 2026 or a couple of more years. If you're a divine masculine watching and you're looking for my guidance and advice because you know that you are on a journey, it means that you fall under first category. Because feminines may be watching from all of these 3 categories, but if your divine feminine falls under that second category, which means that she is new on the journey and she still have 3 to 5 years, she's going to be on accelerated growth because she's still in pain, she's still in longing, you would have no idea that you are on a journey. You wouldn't be watching this video even. And if your feminine falls under the 3rd category, not even for a split second, you would want to watch a video like that. You have no idea what's going on. You're in your shadows, and you're very much dormant and under a veil. So if you're masculine and you're watching, rest assured that your feminine is in that 1st category, which means that you are on an accelerated path of growth for the next season, for the divine to facilitate your healing to the point that you will be ready enough to go back and to claim your feminine within the next 3 years. For some of you, it may be literally now. You are already hovering over your phone because you feel that you are ready. And for some of you, it may still be a couple of seasons and couple of cycles of healing up to those 3 years. So let's talk about what you can do if you want to help yourself on that journey of healing. So I want to go back, that first point for masculines, I want to go back to that accountability. Accountability is an extremely important quality for a divine masculine. So I want you to sit down with yourself and really take accountability for who you are, for things that you have done, because this is something that our masculines struggle with. Because when you are wounded on this journey, you are in your avoidance. You are avoiding, one of the things that you are avoiding is that accountability, right? So we're swiping things under the rug. You're avoiding facing the truth of things that have happened in the past. Remember what I said, look at things neutrally. What happened needed to happen. What happened was divinely orchestrated. Who you were even 3 months ago is not who you are today. Who you were when you met your feminine is not who you are today. Take accountability. That man that you are today, if you fully want to step into the divine masculine power, you need to look back at the man who you were when you met your feminine and say, yes, I was wounded. I did ignore her. I did ghost her. I did cheat on her. Whatever that was, that I did, did some things that were hurtful that I'm not proud of today. But you know what? I'm proud of this man because he was doing the best he could. Switch that. Take accountability. Because when a true divine masculine returns for union, he cannot return in a flaky energy, because your true divine feminine won't be able to respond to that energy. Remember the divine feminine that I described a while ago? She is fierce. She knows her worth. She loves herself. She follows God. She's connected to God. She follows her mission. Why would she entertain a flaky energy of a man who doesn't know what he wants? Accountability is a foundation of masculine energy. As you return for union, despite the fact that your true divine feminine, your beautiful feminine, has forgotten and forgiven everything long ago, you will have to take the accountability. You will have to stand in front of her and say, I'm so sorry. I did these things to you. I didn't remember. I didn't remember who you were. But I know that it had to happen. I've forgiven myself in my heart, and I hope you have it in your heart to forgive. And I've mentioned this many times. The fact that we forgive our masculines way before they ask for forgiveness, it doesn't mean that you don't have to ask for forgiveness, because asking for forgiveness shows accountability. When you come towards us and you express the accountability for things that happened in the past, for pain that was caused, for ghosting, avoidance, and everything that, depending on your connection, it shows the maturity. It shows that you are able and ready and capable of holding the role of a divine masculine for this world. Because the issue with this world, the reason why we live in the world that we live in, is that masculine energy does crap and then they wash their hands off it. They don't take that accountability. Only through accountability we can grow, course correct, and repair our mistakes from the past. Right? And make amends. Making amends, remember, that's the difference between empty apology and amends. Empty apology is like, I'm sorry, but I will do it all over again. Accountability means making amends. So not just coming in with an apology for what has happened, but coming in with a promise of what will happen from now on, and making sure that in an accountable, responsible way, your words actually follow your actions. So that's the first very important thing. Next thing that I wrote down, just like the feminists need to connect to their inner masculine, you, my dear masculines, you need to connect to your inner feminine. Which means, and I wrote down a couple of things, definitely work on your self-love and compassion, including that compassion towards that past self, towards that you from the past who did all these things that you no longer would do. So that love and compassion, we talked about this as well when we talked about activating the frequency of the heart. This is how you connect to your feminine, through your heart. So it's your inner feminine that helps you to connect to your own heart. So cultivate self-love, cultivate self-compassion, give yourself space, give yourself love, attend to your emotions. Don't escape from your emotions. Learn to talk to your emotions, learn to sit with your emotions, learn to honor your emotions as well in a neutral way. Don't label your emotions like this is negative, this is positive. Love is positive, judgment is negative. No, emotion is an emotions. It's a compass to understand ourselves. So honor your emotions. This is what you do for your inner feminine. And a very important thing, emotion intuition as well, I wrote down. So connect your intuition, start to practice your intuition, trust your intuition, but also mother wound. Attend to your mother wound. We all have mother wounds, and our beautiful masculines, oh, do you, boy, have a mother wound? Otherwise, you wouldn't be avoidant. I've done a whole series about the mother wound. You can watch that on my YouTube in a separate folder. I have actually two folders, mother wound and then mother wound series, which is a reverse mother wound. You can learn a lot from this series about your mother wound and shadows that exist within us because of that mother wound. You can always ask me questions in the comments or through messages anonymously. I don't mind. I am here for my masculines all the way on this journey. So attend to your mother wound. That's going to be very important. This is how you properly connect to your inner feminine, and only through healthy relationship with your own inner feminine you can ever connect to your actual feminine. And the last thing that I written down, pray for your satori, be ready for your satori, but also I wrote down believe. It's the inner oracle. You are your own inner oracle. Your inner feminine is your inner oracle. The what stops our masculines on this journey is disbelief. This belief that it's real, this belief that such a beautiful, magical thing can exist. Believe in your feminine, believe in your connection, believe in your future, believe in your mission, believe that you chose to come here. Remember, remove that veil. You remove the veil in the final stages that we call awakening of a masculine, which is Satori, which usually happens right before union, because the moment it happens, poof, you catch up like there's no tomorrow, and you're literally already on a phone searching for your feminine. So through that mother wound and through that accountability and through prayer to your spirit guides, you will show your readiness, you will show your willingness, you will show your openness, and they will guide you. They will guide you, they will help you. So work on your mother wound, work on your accountability, connect to your inner feminine, pray to your guides to bring you your Satori, and they will guide you, they will show you what you need to work on. What I want you to remember, both masculines and the feminines, is that accelerated path of growth, it doesn't mean that it's a walk in a park. It's difficult. Ascensions are difficult. Ascension after ascension without the breather, it's difficult. So what I want you to constantly remember, you can put a post-it on your mirror, is that uncomfortable feeling, shadowy feeling, triggered kind of a feeling, it's a good thing. It means I'm growing. It means they're pushing me. It means that they're showing me triggers, wounds, things that I still have to attend within myself. So remember that. Have that. You have a beautiful capacity and a mindset of a warrior are masculine. So remember that. If they bringing you challenge, if they bringing you karmic relationship from the past, if they bringing you tests, if they bringing you lesson, if they bringing you emotion, if they bringing you what feels like a depression, it's an ascension, it's opportunity to grow. Switch your mindset into believing that you are very much guided on this journey, not just by your guides, but by your higher self and by your own divine feminine. My beautiful divines, my beautiful twinnies, I love you so incredibly much. I am praying for you. I am rooting for you. I know that collectively we will all meet at the other side of this beautiful twin flame tunnel that has been happening for the past decades. And we will meet ourselves energetically in union, divine masculines and divine feminines, in readiness to lead humanity towards light. I know it sounds like a big task and very scary often for the masculines, but in reality, you guys have explained this today in my today's reading. You can go ahead and watch that. I will sort of maybe I will edit it and post that important part on my Instagram as well. It was the third part of today's reading. You can watch that. But the truth is that it sounds like, lead others towards light and Christ consciousness. It's not as, it is very glorious and it is very honorable, but courage, remember, courage, don't be scared. It's just, at the other side of the road, when you find yourself in union with your divine feminine, divine masculine, we really lead a normal life. Right? We interact with people. We have sometimes some 3D occupations. The feminine is more prone to exist outside of the matrix, so oftentimes she does, her passion becomes her occupation, her mission becomes, but not necessarily, and not always. So to an outside observer, yes, we are power couples, we emit frequency of love, but ultimately we have a normal life. We have a place to live, we travel, we go for a weekend away, we cook together, we watch movies. So it seems like this whole mission Christ consciousness, but we are each other's missions, our frequency. The moment you reach wholeness, the moment you're doing the work, the moment you're stepping into your divine masculine, that's it. That's all you will ever have to do. You're not going to have to become a president of a country to change this whole world, right? It's not the path for all. For most of us, we just live amongst others, okay? Without them even knowing that we are those twin flames walking Christ consciousness in union. And we just show them how love is supposed to look like, how treating each other is supposed to look like, how a woman should treat her man, and how a man should treat a woman. This is what it means to be a power couple. Power of love, not power in the sense of companies, money, travels, and being presidents, right? Power of your energy. Many of us, you can live in a small house and like in the edge of a forest, and you do energy work without necessarily having the it's this very masculine understanding of how our path look like. So we're normal couples. We're how it should look like for everyone, right? So don't be scared, don't be intimidated. Remember, accountability, courage, dharma, heart, mother wound. Connect to your feminine, believe, and you will be a-okay. And I will see you all on the other side, reunited with your feminines. Crossing my fingers for you. Again, I love you so incredibly much. I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, again, if you feel intimidated, to leave them in the comments. You guys know, if you've ever done this, I always respond to the messages. So feel free to message me anonymously. I will just respond, no questions asked. I am here for you, to lead you, to guide you. I'm sending my love to you. I'm extending my lighthouse energy to guide you back home safely to each other.